Hey, it's Larry. Thanks for listening. Happy New Year. Real quick, before we get into this episode, I had such an amazing, eye-opening, life-changing experience at the World Parkinson Congress in Kyoto that I want others to have that opportunity too. So Becca Miller and I and 24 of our PD community friends have launched a year-long WPC travel grant fundraiser. We're each doing a 2-week Facebook fundraiser. Mine's underway right now because my birthday's January 9th. All the money raised will be used to help offset travel costs so more people with young onset Parkinson's can attend the next WPC in Barcelona in 2022. You can search out details on the When Life Gives You Parkinson's Facebook page or donate directly to the WPC website. Go to wpc2022.org/YOPD fund. If you or your business would like to supply matching funds, hey, good on ya. Email me at parkinsonspod@curiouscast.ca. And now, on with the show. Well, it's time for another extra dosage episode of When Life Gives You Parkinson's. These are those in-between bits, special bonus content to get you through to the next full episode. I'm Larry Gifford along with Niki Reitmeyer.
And today we're taking you to the movies.
The New Music is a movie currently in production in Ireland. It's a musical drama revolving around the life of a pianist with young onset Parkinson's and the punk band that changes his life.
As a member of the band, Jodie has a duty to share everything with her bandmates, which are present, David and myself.
She told us, Adrian,
that you two had a wonderful night.
that you have Parkinson's.
So much delicacy, man.
Does delicacy help? Does it?
Ooh, it sounds cool.
The film is being produced in association with Young Parkinson's Ireland.
And we are privileged and excited to chat today with the writer and director, Chiara Viale, and lead actor of the film, Cillian McElvoy. Hi, you guys.
Hello. Hi there.
Chiara, what was the inspiration for writing this movie?
So I really love music. So to start with, I really wanted to make a film about how music can help and can create community and can, probably sometimes change lives or make you look at things differently. And I thought about creating the story of someone who, for some reasons, can't play anymore. So I did a little bit of research, and I bumped into young onset Parkinson's, and I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know it existed at all, and I was particularly, just particularly shocked by reading about it being a rare disease. And I lost my dad to MSA a few years ago, and that's another rare neurological condition and degenerative and everything. And so I really wanted to do something about it. I really wanted to have the chance to discuss rare diseases into a movie. And I just kind of happened to me as well. I'm experiencing seeing my dad feeling very isolated and alone into not having the chance to talk to people and connect to people who had the same condition. So I thought about then bringing this idea into the film and putting these two things together.
So this is not a documentary. This is a feature film. How did you come up with the story?
It kind of came together. I thought about having the main character being a pianist who is quite famous, classically trained. And so, being diagnosed with Parkinson's means that he knows that he won't be able to play the piano that much, especially to the levels he used to. So he runs away and comes to Dublin. Dublin would be the biggest city in Ireland, and tries to hide his identity a bit, and comes across a punk band, and the guys kind of show him a different approach to music. And so it just kind of happened.
Cillian, did you know about young onset Parkinson's before you took this role as an actor?
No. Myself and Chiara we've known each other for a while, so she kind of told me about it. I remember we were walking through Edinburgh, and she was on her phone, and she had this idea, because it wasn't a feature length at first, it was only going to be 30 minutes. So I was kind of aware of this story, but I never realized that young onset Parkinson's existed. I didn't know common it was, which is, I guess, more surprising for me, because we've met a good few people now through making this film and being an online presence. A load of people who were in a similar situation to Adrian. So it's very eye-opening. So yeah, so the film helped me see more.
That's really interesting. There's a lot of people in your situation that they're just discovering young onset Parkinson's. I was diagnosed 1.5 years, and people in my life were like, "What? What is that? I thought that was an old person's disease." What can you share about what you've learned through this process about young onset?
I guess true discovering it as a character maybe is the most interesting way to answer it. So being someone who was so aware about having such a big life, like for Adrian to be told these things, I can see how people can panic. And, being a person as well who deals with mental health problems in his own life, there was a way that I could kind of see how isolation can be, formed in Parkinson's especially, like how it's such a tight-knit group. Like, I'm big into punk music, so I am, I guess, not a normal person, a part of the big society, so isolated. So I had that in myself. Just that kind of feeling of how you can think that your life could be over, and this idea that there are people out there that are willing to be your friend and that people will love you no matter what. That's kind of what the film has helped me see, that, no matter what kind of thing you could face in the world, you are not alone. And I guess that's something that's very important.
It sounds like you learned a lot coming out of this role, but going into it, how did you prepare to play a character with Parkinson's?
So my main research would have been using the Michael J. Fox seminar websites. So what I wanted to do with that was, I guess, understand, which is obviously, if people haven't listened to any of those lectures, it's a doctor talking to a patient. So I thought it was very interesting to understand the way a doctor looks at it and how a patient feels about it, and then understand, I guess, the emotions that are there for a person. So really take those ideas, and I wrote them all down, pages upon pages upon pages, and I took the words, the most important adjectives that I could think about, and tried to apply them to each scene so that I could truthfully feel the way someone who has the disease feels. And then in terms of trying to show it physically, and Chiara felt it was very important that it wasn't just showing someone shaking, which is what apparently a lot of other films have tried to do. It was more show the emotional side of things and the restriction and trying to fight and hide it. So I watched a few videos where I saw people that were trying their best to hide it. And Michael J. Fox even said when he was trying to hide it that he would try and grab his arm or maybe stuff his fists in his pocket. So stuff like that, just like what I wanted for people who have the disease, that they'll see it, but maybe people who don't understand it can't necessarily see it. So people can identify with Adrian, that kind of sense.
Larry, do you find that? Do you think that often when Parkinson's is displayed in the media that it's usually just reduced down to that one symptom, the shaking?
Well, it's the most visible symptom, but not everybody with Parkinson's gets a tremor, so it's not the full story. And 90% of what I deal with is internal, and from depression and anxiety to all those hidden symptoms we talked about in the last episode. So that's really cool that you were able to sort of capture that essence of what it's like to have Parkinson's.
Yeah, we had a lot of conversations with Young Parkinson's Ireland in the process. Claire Connolly from Young Parkinson's Ireland read the script and we discussed it together. And, we really tried to make sure at each stage of the process that the image we were trying to, to get to come across was truthful. Like that's been, and so far it is my biggest concern. The reason why we're making this film is to, raise awareness. So, it has to come. Like, I'm very happy that, the Young Parkinson's Ireland has watched the film progress so far all the way, and they really support us. So this is, for me, the most important thing.
So how does your association with Young Parkinson's Ireland work?
So far, like what happened is, like, as soon as I started writing the script, I got in touch with the association asking to meet and just kind of tell them what we wanted to do, because my idea from the start was for this to be a non-profit film for, all raised funds and all possible, potential profits to be devolved completely to the association. So this is a charity project, and I wanted them, of course, to be aware of the fact that, we wanted to go that way. So we started meeting together. And at the moment, like I'm talking to them on a daily basis, and we got David Sangster from the UK. He got in touch with us, and he's a pianist, an artist with young onset Parkinson's. So he's composing some original music for our soundtrack, and generally we just like talk and chat. Now it's loads about raising funds for the confection of the film, maybe together, try to do things, and support each other. Like our idea is really, to create a film that they'll be able to use, and any association will be able to use or screen, or just kind of it's more of a tool and a means of expression.
So, and you are kind of mid or close to the end of the production cycle, and you've started GoFundMe, where you're raising money to complete the film, but also it benefits Young Parkinson's Ireland. Talk about how that works.
Yeah, so basically where we are right now is we've filmed everything. So we are in the post-production at the moment.
Oh, so you don't need a young, handsome American to just pop in there?
No, not for that.
Okay.
Maybe the sequel, Larry.
We were actually talking recently about, the new music part 2 and part 3 in the future. But so we're in post-production, mainly sound, color grading, and special effects at the moment. And so we do have a GoFundMe campaign ongoing at the moment, and that's where we are, trying to raise funds to help us out, because as you guys probably read, the film has we're not a production company, and the film is no budget, completely self-funded. So we're actually getting into the point where we need some funds going in so that we can ensure the quality of the film. So that's how it works. And we're already raising through the campaign, we're already raising 20% to go straight to YPI. And then after that, like after the completion of the film, if more than what we need was raised, and after the film gets released, all profits are to go straight to them and fully.
So the GoFundMe is gofundme.com/thenewmusic. And when the film comes out, how can people see it?
So what we're trying to do is probably for a year, we're planning to go through all possible festivals we can get our hands on. So film festivals like here in Ireland, throughout Europe, hopefully as far as we can. So the States will be definitely somewhere we're hoping to get into. And then after the festival circuit, we're hoping to get some distribution deal for the film so that it gets to travel as far as possible. And but we'll kind of take it day by day. Let's see how it goes.
So what else are we missing?
Well, just like that I'm personally extremely grateful for for everybody who was involved into this film, because since the start, this has been it being a no budget production. We've been working only with volunteers, so all actors, all the crew. Everybody involved so far are volunteers, so we're working for way less than they would. So I want to thank everyone for being on board, and I want to thank everybody from YPI to trust us and to help us out with this, and that I'm really grateful that we made it this far from just a simple idea. And I think it, the film really looks amazing, and I'm really hoping that it will do what it's meant to do, that people will see it, will get more, they will maybe even just like me, find out that Young Parkinson's is a thing, that it exists, and maybe of course, what I hope is for people with Young Parkinson's who watch it to feel a bit less alone, or feel there's something out there that represents them.
That's great. You're getting so much support. Among the volunteers that you just thanked is the band Intellectual from the Netherlands. They provided the song So Much More to the film. I happen to have it right here, so let's take a little listen.
We are not in it for the backstage band, not for the girls, girls, girls. We are not in it for the after party, or the big paycheck at the end of every month. This is our life. We put our hearts and heads into this is our life. But they might as well be inspired.
Okay, here's a question for both of you. If Parkinson's was a person that you met on the street, what would you say to it?
I don't know. It's really strange. I don't want to say I actually understand like what it's like to have it. But like it's something that I think before doing this film, like I wouldn't have known what to say, but I do feel now, like when I see it, like it's a kind of, please don't feel like it's the end. Like a lot of people feel lost and alone, and that, you know, people are nice. There's a lot of bad things happening in the world out there, and just know that you're not the only one that's feeling lost and afraid. We're all in this together. We're all just human, and hopefully things can get better. And if you need anything, hopefully I can help.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's, you know, summing it up.
Well, Ciara and Cillian, thank you guys so much for chatting with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You know what's interesting, Niki, is I took piano lessons in college, and really? I loved to tickle the ivories. And the other, I guess it was about 6 months ago, I sat down. You know, if there's a random piano anywhere, I like to sit down and go, yeah, crack my knuckles and take to it. And I realized I couldn't keep up anymore. Like I hadn't tried it for a long time, and I'm like, oh, I don't have that rhythm anymore.
Oh no!
So my left hand was way ahead of my right hand. It was really disappointing. So I mean, it's a real thing that the piano players that with Parkinson's are probably just frustrated out. You know, for me, I was just casual amateur.
You know, that'd be something really interesting to discuss in a future episode, Larry. And for anyone who has Parkinson's who is a musician, I'd love for them to reach out and contact us. I'd be curious to know how musicians who have Parkinson's are affected by the disease.
Oh, that would be really cool. Why don't you jot us a note at parkinsonspod@curiouscast.ca. And that's your extra dosage. As always, very grateful to have our friends at Parkinson Canada as a partner for the podcast. And you can learn more about them at parkinson.ca. On the next episode of When Life Gives You Parkinson's. I'm walking to the Parkinson Society of British Columbia, where I have my monthly support group for newly diagnosed Parkinson's patients.
When I get into a stressful situation, my outward Parkinson's symptoms are exacerbated.
I had a bad time with tremors, and I couldn't watch hockey games. It drove me crazy because I'd get excited in the hockey game, and pretty soon my arm's just going crazy.
PD can be a good excuse for things.
It can be.
It's not a good excuse, I don't think.
This is not just a tremor. This is not just stiffness. This is a whole life-encompassing problem. Having that support group of people that you can bounce ideas off of makes a big difference.
Thank you for listening. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this right now. And when you're there, please give the show a rating and feel free to comment as well.
And tell your friends about the show. You can tag us at Parkinson's Pod on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Or you can jot us a note, parkinsonspod@curiouscast.ca. Keep positive.
Keep exercising.
And keep listening.
We'll talk to you next time.
Canada may be known for its landscapes and friendly people, but beneath the surface lies a darker side of crime, history, and the paranormal. Since 2017, the award-winning Dark Poutine podcast has explored the shadowy corners of the Great White North and beyond, delivering chilling tales from a uniquely Canadian perspective. Hosted by Mike Brown and Matthew Stockton with over 300 episodes and fresh releases every Monday, Dark Poutine is your weekly ticket to the creepier side of Canada. Listen to Dark Poutine on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.